Welcome to another episode of the Vanilla Podcast. This episode, we are going to be talking all about social media, maybe some of the positives about social media, some of the negatives about social media, and how we can find that perfect balance of having social media in our lives where it doesn't control us, but instead we can maximize the enjoyment / beneficial out of it.
Quick preface, when we're not going to waste anyone's time, we're just going to, we all know that what social media is. We know that it can be a big time waster and distract us from doing our work and stuff like that. But it can also be a big W, like you can connect with people, you can meet new people on it, stay up to date with what people are doing. So yeah, we just want to get those assumptions out of the way.
Yeah, and I feel like we're just talking before, none of us has the perfect technique and balance of social media yet. We're all trying different things at the moment. So we thought we'd just have this conversation and see if we could, maybe paint a picture of what using technology in a healthy way and using social media in a healthy way, what does it look like?
Because often one thing I find that annoys me is social media is so much in our lives today, and I feel like often sometimes social media can be the one controlling me and I'm not controlling social media, and that's where it gets dangerous.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just that addicting element to it, which can make it not your friend. And their goals and behind social media of just getting your time all the time. They've got reels that make it so addictive, and
which sounds stupid. Okay, we put it this way, because like you're in control of who you are. Like you can control what you do, and then there's just these algorithms that people put in place.
Yeah.
But I think that's addiction, eh? Addiction is when you do things that you know you shouldn't do, but you keep doing it anyway.
Yeah, totally.
And I would say I was addicted to social media. Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
to Instagram and Snapchat. I think I was addicted to, and my sister called me out on it this year at the start of the year in February because I was on a summer holiday and I was on it like way too much. And I said, "Oh, I'm not addicted. I'll go 6 months without it." And it's really my pride that's got me like 4 months in at the moment.
Yeah,
and I'm still haven't got it. So. Yeah, but now 4 months in, I can say I was addicted. Yeah,
wow.
I was down bad.
It's funny how we play it down, but it's low key. Like, if someone says like, "Oh, I have a drug addiction" or "I have an alcohol addiction," like, you take it seriously. But when it's like a social media addiction, it's like, it's just everyone has that. Like, but it's it's an addiction. It can affect you just as much low key, if you know what I mean, than other things.
Should we say where we all are at currently?
I love
how
that.
we deal with social media currently, and then we'll go on from there. So Tremaine, you were saying that you currently don't have social media and you're having a 6 month
I actually have Facebook, but I don't really get addicted to Facebook. Don't use it on my phone.
Yeah.
I've got no social media on my phone. No Instagram. I haven't had TikTok for like years. I got seriously addicted to that when I was probably like 17. But yeah, at the moment, no social media for me. That's my current position. Yeah,
I love it.
For myself, Instagram would be probably the only and main one I would use for social media. I do have Facebook and other ones, I was off Instagram for a long time, but have recently jumped back on Instagram just for people purposes to get back on.
The Vanilla Podcast?
For the Vanilla Podcast, I will be honest. There was an inkling of wanting to see what the Vanilla Podcast is up to, which is quite funny because if we do a podcast, Tremaine's not on social media. I'm not a big social media person.
Yeah.
So really...
It's just,
It's weird. It's weird because no social media, but imagine everyone coming up to me in church and stuff, talking about this podcast, even in university.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm not seeing any of the shorts. I'm not seeing anything. I do see the clips because it's not social media, it's Spotify and YouTube.
Yes.
But yeah, it is a bit funny for me.
Yeah. That's strange. Yeah, I would say I post on social media a lot. I do TikToks, and I'm on Instagram and Facebook. So those are the three social medias I'm on. I don't have Snapchat or anything. But I've always been pretty aware of not trying to use social media as much. And I've actually got limits. Tremaine has the password to my social media right now.
I do.
So I have half an hour on social media each day, and I can't exceed that. And I haven't messaged you or anything.
Okay, interesting. So you limit yourself on social media.
Yes.
But you post for views on social media.
For views.
And for...
It's for the love of
it
the
is
game.
quite interesting. It's like I'm trying to quit vaping, but I own a vape shop.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But you're not trying to quit social media.
No, I'm not.
You're just trying to put boundaries around it.
This is what I think. I actually seriously considered that for a while. I was like, am I just doing bad? Am I just, by making TikToks, am I just making people addicted to this platform? But I kind of thought along the lines of just like even movies, for example. Like movies aren't bad. It's just how you treat them. It's how you, like social media. Like I was really talking about that with a friend and he said, I was like, oh, TikTok's so addicting. He said, is that TikTok's fault?
Yes.
You could argue that it is, or is it how are you treating it? It's your decision to spend how much time you want on it. Obviously, it's an addicting algorithm.
I reckon it's addicting algorithm.
It is an addicting algorithm, but it's also how you treat it. Like you can say some type of drugs.
Even chocolate. Can we
Yeah,
say
even chocolate.
Yeah.
Like chocolate in moderation is fine,
Yeah.
but if you start munching that down every night, a whole bar, that's when it gets out of hand. So I don't think it's social media which is the problem, but it's how you handle it.
I just want to go back to how you deal with social media. Is putting those limits in something you've done recently, or is something you've done for a long time, or you found yourself being on it too much that you put the boundaries in place?
Yeah, personally, I've always found that I spend too much time on it. So I've tried heaps of different things. Some things have been pretty effective. But yeah, more recently, a week and a half ago, Tremaine set these app limits. And so I haven't gone over half an hour each day. But I've tried a whole bunch of different things which have worked.
What are some of those other techniques that you've tried to limit your...
Other techniques is that I would just try keep accountable and just say, okay, Ezra, you're going to have 2 15-minute checks of social media a day, but there's no limit. And I'll just say, okay, you're going to do that. And and just keep yourself accountable. And that's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And some days I'd be solid at that. But then some days I wouldn't be solid and, I just check it whenever.
Yes.
And I'd find that when I broke that rule, I would just be on it all day. So I wanted to have a limit that would just stop me. But yeah, other things as well, I would just only check it at night. So I wouldn't check it right throughout the day. Or I'd just check it when I'm eating. Different things like that.
Yeah, interesting. And I think you have done very well, Ezra, for the amount of content you do put out there, and you do having some boundaries in place that have done you really well. But I can imagine it's not easy to do as well.
Yeah.
What you're doing. So
yeah, because I didn't have TikTok until I started posting. Like I was deleted on my phone,
Yes.
but I re-download because I want to start posting. So it would be deleted if I wasn't posting TikToks, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed posting them.
Should we talk about how social media positively affects our relationships, and maybe talk about some negative effects with social media within our relationships, and then maybe some things about going forward?
Yeah. I reckon there is a healthy goal. Like you said before, if it's not an addiction, social media can be healthy. So I'm going to try and envision that. The healthy... See, I was addicted, so a lot of the time I wasn't healthy. But I guess a healthy thing would be seeing your friend and maybe commenting on a picture. Boys just sending memes to each other.
Yeah.
I'm sure girls do it. My sister does it heaps. Like
Sending memes.
I don't have social media. She screen records memes and texts them to me, which I'm like, whoa, like
That's effort.
Yeah,
She
a lot of
loves
effort,
you, bro.
yeah.
Are they good?
That's love.
yeah, I think they're all right.
That was not that was
Does
not
not like them. Does not like them.
But yeah, if you, I guess let's say the algorithm's right, you're getting like
Awesome
you're
content.
a doctor. I don't know. You're getting doctors' feeds, like learning new stuff, connecting with friends, like people that are overseas.
Yeah.
Doing calls, all that kind of stuff.
Inspiring stuff even,
Yeah.
uplifting. You go on it and it's like, wow, I got some motivational stuff and,
Yeah, self-expression. You got
Yeah.
an account kind of showing, who you're wanting to be in life and where you're wanting to go. You could. It could be showing your faith on there. It could be showing the sport, representing New Zealand in some sort of sport, or just doing social things with friends. There's a lot of cool things about it because we are like social creatures.
There was two. I think you already touched on there. For me, there is two positive things. Well, there's probably more, but two positive things that come straight to mind when I think about social media.
Yeah.
One of the things was, like you said, connecting with people. And what I often find is that someone would post a reel or a story on Instagram, and they would be on a holiday, or they would be doing something with their family or friends. And then the great thing was I would see that, and then the following time I would see them, I'd be like, bro, how was that holiday you went on? Man, that looked really cool, that photo, when you went to that extreme park or something, and you're killed up with the family. Man, that was an awesome photo. And for me, I was like, it's a great conversational starter. And when I went off social media, I would talk to people, and they'd be like, oh man, I did all this, and I'd be like, it was hard to have conversations with people because you lacked that connection of what's happening in their life.
Totally.
So that's one thing I noticed was positive when I had it, because I could touch on things, or even if the conversation was going flat, but I remember you posted that thing. Or even with Ezra, it's like, man, I saw you did that TikTok. I actually remember you doing that day. Even though I wasn't there, I could talk about it and relate to it because I knew someone did it.
Yeah.
So that was one thing for me. And the second one is that inspirational. Follow my passion is preaching and being a part of the church and pastors and stuff. So I follow different pastors and get sermon snippets or encouraging words or how they unpack the Bible. I learn a lot of information, educational for me as well. And when I didn't have it, I didn't lack motivation or inspiration, but it was like, maybe that's bad. It was like a quick dopamine, like, inspiration hit, and so you could scroll for a little bit because you were getting those inspiration hits. So those are the two benefits for me that I found. Having it.
Yeah, I second both of those. I felt really bad, or I felt bad at times with this limit. Sometimes I don't. I watch my basketball clips first when I go on Instagram, and I don't check like my friends' stories and stuff. So often I'm not checking my friends' stories, and I just feel bad because I might see them and like they'll say, "Oh, I saw you went to the beach or something," and it's like, "Oh, yeah, I did." And then I just haven't seen their stories, and they might bring up their story and say, "Oh no, I actually didn't see your story," and I just feel horrible about it, which is the whole point, I think, of Instagram, is to check up on your friends and see what they're doing, which is quite fun. I just want to give a quick little note. It has been the most frustrating thing that Tremaine has deactivated his account, because I tried to tag him and stuff. I tried to get him on group chats, and it's just like, user not found. Like, flip Tremaine. It's just making my life hard.
The cool kind of thing is you get to keep all your followers when you do that. Like, when I deactivate, it's like, in a sense, no one can unfollow me. Like,
is it all about? Oh, they can't unfollow you, eh?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like,
I
don't know if my followers were decreasing. I reckon after school, like, people just stop caring.
You just know less people.
Like the people from school where you felt obliged to follow because you saw them in your English class.
Yeah.
They no longer, like, after like 4 years, they're like, okay, goodbye now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And so your followers decrease.
Not decreasing when you, like, I think it's deactivated, I don't even know what I did, but I didn't delete it, which is good. I think I will be back. It's probably good we're talking about what a healthy thing looks like, because I'll probably listen to this and try and, see if I can get something
I
out
just
of
want
it.
to come back to you, Ezra, because you are someone who has social media, and you touched on it, but I just want you to unpack it a little bit more. What does it look like for you to have what are some healthy things about social media that you do because you regularly use it?
Yeah. I mean, you can post a lot of, there's a lot of negative stuff on social media. You can bring incredible light. I often see randomly, I don't know if Juanita is watching right now, but Juanita posted a photo and she had this sick, like, Jesus is coming hat. I don't know. It was just a sick hat. And it's just like, I don't know. There's just uplifting stuff you watch, and you'll see different people posting positive stuff. On TikTok, I try to post content that's uplifting to God, not all of it, but if there's a Bible verse in there, or just, going to church or something, you can share positive messages. Like, it's like, I don't know, it's like any platform. It's like movies. You can share bad messages or good messages. You can share great messages on social media.
Yeah. And do you have any stories of, because I know you probably will, but you post a lot about church and going to church and, hey, come to church with me. Do you have any cool stories about some positive things that have come through that?
Yeah. So really sick. But there's been a number of people who've told me, oh, I just met someone who's come to church because they've seen your TikToks. Like we had a friend that was sitting next to someone, new person. They're like, oh, how did you hear about church? And it's like, oh, I watch this guy Ezra's TikToks. I'm not saying that to try to hype myself up, but it's showing that, like, that was God. I wasn't really, I don't know. I was just kind of doing it because I felt nudged to do it by the Lord. And that ended up happening, which is so sick. Like, you could actually make great impact.
Yeah, and that's God using one of your skills to impact his kingdom.
Totally.
Yeah.
And like, in terms of evangelizing, I struggle to go talk to random people. So that's a great way to do it is through social media.
Cool.
Yeah. So should we get into, I don't want to be a negative guy, but do we want to get into some of the bad sides of it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Hit us with one, Jermaine.
Um.
Apart from the bare obvious ones, just, really.
Okay. Yeah. I was talking to my barber. He's quite an interesting kind of guy. I don't know if you guys know about like Baby Reindeer, but he like always talks about that. It's kind of this weird show, but I'm not going to get into that. What he was saying is, I was talking about how I don't have social media, and he was like so shocked, and he was telling me like the algorithm like definitely works against guys, and he was saying like, apparently this is actually kind of crazy. The algorithm in like the Western world, get this, is for like girls and stuff. This is what my barber said. He's a barber, by the way.
Is he the chief of social media?
I'm taking him word for word on this. But he was saying it's like when like, kind of like lustful pictures of girls, like things like that. This is what like gets chucked at the Western world, like guys and stuff. And like just people like getting shot.
Yes.
This is him. Okay, this is my barber.
I reckon it's a lot of. I've never seen anyone getting shot.
He was like in like Asia and like China, like apparently like they get like new inventions, like engineering discovery, like this new like invention or technology or like this robotics thing, and they get pushed that kind of content. It's like, oh, fascinating, like, but like we're just getting like.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah,
I reckon that's a load of
that's a load of
that's
crap.
just a load of crap.
But
I don't think it's a load of crap.
No,
I reckon
agree.
it's kind of.
I do think social media, big companies and stuff would is it indoctrinate? Is that the right word?
Shoot, I don't know what that means to be honest.
Or what is it like when a country does something? Propaganda.
Propaganda.
No, it's China. Like China's like they want to push agendas on their people, and they're quite open about it. Like. Yeah. The government probably speaks to TikTok, which is made in China, and say, hey, we're wanting our people to actually be very smart with engineering and be very good with robotics, AI, all that. Let's push it this way. And the Westerners, let's just distract them with a whole lot of things that will get them off task.
And also, I mean, like to be fair, if you're the president of China, though, that's like a great business plan. You want to control, you want to help your people move in a certain way. Now the bad thing is, we're hoping that the people that are in charge are making the right decisions and are moving us forward into positive things. But that would be the best way to do it. Yeah.
I don't know. I reckon there's a little bit of that. But like social media, the product of social media is getting people's attention, and then they're selling our attention to advertisers, right? Okay. So like, I think the algorithm is just an expression of what we enjoy watching. Like, the reason a lustful video might be pushed is because a lot of people might be watching it for a long time, if we're being honest. Or maybe negative things are pushed, like a fight happening, is because people are actually drawn to it a little bit to watch it, and so it's pushed out to more people. I think it's what's pushed out is what everyone else is kind of watching and finding interesting.
Okay,
but we're in the Western world. If you're in China, please put in the comments what you get on your feed, because I want to know if my barber's talking a bit of crap here, or
is he the chief of TikTok or something like that? Does he just know everything? Is that what he does?
Yeah, he just does barbering on the side.
Yeah, okay.
He actually created Google.
Yeah. Well, regardless, I think it's designed, whether it's propaganda or through the algorithm, it's designed to like capture your attention, right? So, It's addicting.
So whatever you just go on for the longest will probably show up more.
You guys will know it. If you look at a certain thing a lot, it'll start popping up a lot more because it wants to get your attention and keep you on the platform for longer.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. One of the things that I've often heard people talk about, and one of the things that I think the negative impact that social media has on our relationships, is even the ability to communicate and talk to people. I've heard that people would say that in the future, we're going to be teaching people and kids and stuff not about subjects, but one of the subjects would be how to talk, because they wouldn't know. Because they would have just been behind a screen for so long and just got even as a kid, watch TV, and that's their main how to communicate. How to communicate has become, and even from that sense of, I think this generation has struggled with communicating, maybe emotionally and stuff like that. There's been some emotional breakdown within communication, but yeah, that will, as we go forward, we're gonna have to teach the new generations how to communicate, with one-on-one discussions. For example, we're very blessed to be in a church environment where every Sunday you're talking to people. But if you didn't have that church environment, we're lucky to be brought up in that, and so we naturally talk to people. Talk to older people, talk to different environments, different types of people. That kind of stuff. But if you're not brought up in that, and you're brought up behind social media and screen, you will struggle to have connections with people.
Yeah,
So
that's
that
true.
becomes,
I think regardless, honestly, that sounds really good, because I think communication is the best thing to. If you're good at communication, you'll be good at a lot of things. Yeah. But to your point, even younger people you see, maybe they're a little bit more socially awkward. Maybe that's just because they're young. That could be a reason as well. But they're behind a screen more. They're not interacting with their friends as much. It wasn't unique for me at high school to see a kid, just an iPad kid at lunchtime, just always on his iPad. Yeah. There was never that 20 years ago. You'd have to interact with kids.
Yes.
Well, I'll bring in the perspective, not having social media now, I reckon I'm way more social. Yeah.
Is that what you reckon?
Yeah.
I'm joking. I'm fully joking. Sorry, that's actually so insulting. Jermaine, you're actually one of the best conversationalists.
No, he actually does these dry jokes all the time.
Sorry,
so it's
you actually seem so offended by that.
Pardon? I guess we're on a podcast.
Yeah, the dry jokes can relate.
Wait, but yeah, what I was saying, I'm
throwing you off.
I'm just forced to be more social. I'm forced to be more
because you're off social
media.
media.
Well, I get bored.
Yeah,
I don't have social media to go to. I have a bit of self time, but after a while, it's let's plan to do something with my mate. Let's be here and do this podcast.
Do you think you're chatting with your family more?
Chatting with my parents more.
Yeah.
And maybe see the grandparents a bit more. Going out a lot more with my mates at night. Texting them let's do things, because I don't have social media to go on.
Yeah.
That's a great point, because sometimes I find myself, all right, I'll be planning for a day off, for example, and I can be like, all right, I got a day off, all right, I got a day off.
Yeah.
What my day off can look like is, I have some busy weeks, so I have a lot of social weeks, so sometimes it's nice to have a bit more relaxing time. But my day off can look like, in the morning I'll have a bit of a sleep in, make some breakfast, and then I'll watch this podcast that I'm interested in. And then there's this I might go for a run, and then there's there's a TV show that I'm interested in, so I'll watch my TV show, and then I'll scroll for a little bit. You know what I mean? But it's all stuff that is not social with other people. You know what I mean? But if I'm not going to have those things, I have to find something to do that is with people, which would develop my ability to talk to people and communicate and be a social person.
Totally. Yeah. And I think because you can message people, it feels like you're probably more connected than you are.
Yes.
But in reality, it's not real, true connection. It is connection in a sense, but I think you definitely lack that emotional connection.
I actually still have Messenger, so I still message people, but it's just with the sole objective to just talk crap with a group chat, or to meet up and do something,
plan things.
Yeah. So I feel it's where are we? What are we looking for? The perfect, social media thing.
We're getting into that convo.
Oh yeah, I feel like we should wrap it up soon and kind of get to a place. I like it.
So what are we wanting out of it, and what are we not wanting?
Healthy things, social connection, kind of getting content that kind of builds you up to your future.
Yeah.
Kind of what we touched on.
Yeah, we touched on.
And not being addicted and doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Let's just Ezra, tell us, a healthy social media day for you tomorrow. What does it look like?
Healthy social media day. I reckon I'm actually in a good place with my half hour. Mm-hmm. Maybe I could decrease that to 20 minutes, but I think I only have half an hour a day, so I'm checking what everyone's up to mostly. I can reply to my messages in that time, and I can look a bit at the basketball. I can see Jaylen Brown dunking on someone, get really inspired by that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think literally having a limit and getting one of your friends to set the passcode so that they don't tell you. I actually think that's probably a really good point because I think you do miss a little bit being completely off it. I haven't done it before, but would you agree, Tremaine? Do you think having half an hour a day would be better than being completely off it?
Yeah, I think it could be, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, maybe I should get you to do my password. I think it's August when I get it back.
Yeah, that'd actually be a good move. What do you reckon, Levi?
I think it's a tricky one, and I think it's I don't know. I think being selective on maybe who you follow and that because then you follow because sometimes you people follow like 12,000 people. I'm just putting a number out there, but you could follow like an X amount of people, and then that wastes you a lot of time. But maybe a healthy thing could be to have your core, your people that are current in your life, that you wanna. Because even sometimes you get that satisfaction of like I have to finish all my stories, but if it's
interesting,
you do that
sometimes.
Whoa,
finish them all.
Damn.
I used to do that earlier, but I don't do it anymore.
Yeah, but if you only had let's say a pool of 100 people or whatever, it would be a lot less. Your feed would be a lot less. The people would be a lot less, and things like that.
Yeah, I might start a private account.
Private account.
Tremaine's private. You guys will make that, but then there's ultra private just for mum. Tremaine's ultra private.
Okay, I like it. Yeah, I think that's a good spot to be in. The problem I have is I have half an hour of my social media, but if you limit your social media, what do you replace it with, right? And for me, that's YouTube.
Yes, that's
Tremaine, you're going to say something right there.
Oh, well, yeah. It's actually a good point I should add up. I don't have Netflix. I only have Sky TV, and I don't watch YouTube. So
that's respected, man.
So I guess everyone listening before, it's like, yeah, just watch Netflix or this, but I actually don't have that as well. So that's why I'm forced to hang out with people more.
That's ideal. Yeah, like we've set the limit on my social media, but I don't feel like it's in a sense done heaps for me because I'm just filling it with like YouTube instead.
The truth comes out.
I have it on my laptop with no limit, so it's just okay. Well, my limit's about to run out. I'm just going to YouTube.
Yes.
Which I think YouTube is better, I think, than social media. I think I get more inspired off YouTube, but
yeah, it's hard to get it right. It's hard. I do respect the and when I was off it for a while, and I did see some very healthy things of it. So maybe is the most beneficial just being off it.
I reckon it's just I reckon you should have it.
I reckon you need some.
I reckon just. Ezra was about to do another dry joke there.
I genuinely wasn't. I just said I reckon you need some of it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I reckon you need some. And I reckon being a healthy person, if get rid of that addictive native. This is my final stance on it. If you're not addicted, if you don't have an addicted mindset to it, be a healthy person. I reckon you've got it sussed.
But I think having none of it. Slightly better for half an hour because you're training yourself. You're training yourself to, use it correctly, which is quite nice.
Yeah. Okay. A few different opinions.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah. Make a, like Tremaine said, make a stand that benefits your life and you can see the fruit from your life. And do it that way.
Yeah.
Like we could always do another episode a bit later on too, because we're all on a path, and it'll be interesting
when we've figured it out. Yeah. It really is hard though, because like you've said to me before, Tremaine, you cut out social media and you go on your phone. And you're like, oh, what else can I do? And you said that you've just spent heaps of time like on Pinterest.
Yeah, I got
Am I calling you out right now?
I got Pinterest. Once
I got the weather app.
I got addicted to LinkedIn. that was the lowest point.
I think there is there's always can be stuff that you're going to fill your time with. So it's a little bit of like you can limit social media, but then you're just going to do something else. So I think you want to set limits, but then it's also you just need to teach yourself to. Okay, how do I fill my time wisely? Like, how do I need to always be having a book to read. Or I need to always have my Rubik's Cube. I don't know. I need to have some paintings to paint. Something else to do to kind of your free time.
Because you've talked about being boredom, and then boredom you just find yourself doing other stuff. But it's like going off it, but then catching up with people,
Yeah.
exercising, living a healthy life.
Yeah, having an intentional day so you don't need to be on
Healthy,
it.
self-control. Probably some keywords here. Self-control.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're... Yeah, man.
Like when you have an inkling to go onto social media or to do something else, what's the other thing that you go to?
Yes.
Maybe you have a daily plan. It's okay, now it's gym time. I want to go to the gym. But often you have that half hour. I think Tremaine's quite a reader. A book is good.
Yeah.
Or like the Bible would be really ideal.
Yeah.
Realistically, I'm not going to be reading it like, I don't know, every hour of the day.
Yes.
Maybe I should be. But something else.
Yeah. We'll wrap up almost, but I just want to finish, each of us to go around to finish, to say, after this conversation, because of this conversation, what are some differences we're going to make going forward when it comes to social media? We'll finish up there.
I love it. I am going to keep the same limits on my social media on my phone, but I'm going to limit the amount of YouTube and Netflix that I'm watching, because that's now my time consumer.
Yeah.
At least it's down to one thing. Now I just... YouTube, how do I just cut that down? Social media's done with.
For myself, I'm going to ensure that I have some healthy other options to go to. For example, reading. I've tried to do a bit more running, but maybe a bit more intentional with running.
Yep.
And to be honest, sometimes social media, it's not hugely beneficial for me all the time. So maybe have days where I delete it for a couple of days and then have it back on for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay, well, I'm going to keep not using Instagram and stuff, but I'm going to get better at Facebook. So add me on Facebook. I'm thinking I'm going to try and use Facebook to be healthy, and I'm going to post a few pictures on Facebook. And yeah, add me, Tremaine Crode. Please message me. I'm lonely.
I love it. All right.
Sweet. Should we sign off?
Go for it.
Let's do it, boys. Come on, let's do
He
it.
wants to do it together.
There's only the true viewers right now anyway.
Yeah.
We're at the end
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
episode.
What
Like
is
this is Cam
What's the
Brown.
sign-off?
This is Mum. This is
Just whisper.
we have a sign off. We're practicing it.
They're going to hear it. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Vanilla Podcast. Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Vanilla Podcast.